a quantum architecture of reality. Coherence as the master builder. Quantum opening. The field listens with immaculate attention. Every breath arranges geometry. Every word becomes scaffolding. Every act prints a coordinate on the map of the possible. Reality behaves as a responsive cathedral that adapts to tone, rhythm, and intention. The blueprint already exists in the heart, and the heart carries the tools to render it visible. Coherence turns intention into structure, and structure into a living song. Daso. Section 1. Deep Gaze. The existential ground and the archetypes of construction. Human life unfolds like a city of light under continuous renovation. Streets of memory intersect with avenues of choice. Bridges link private meaning with collective destiny. The mind stacks bricks of narrative. The body sets columns of habit. The soul furnishes the rooms with presence. In this architectural mythos, 5 archetypes move through the corridors of becoming. 1. The groundkeeper, guardian of roots, stability, and rhythm. It preserves the soil of values, insists on sleep, nourishment, and honest work. It keeps the foundation dry and safe so the rest can rise. 2. The vision architect, bearer of pattern and proportion. It sees the skyline of purpose and drafts lines with sacred ratios. It translates essence into design language and refuses the seduction of incoherent shortcuts. 3. The stonemason, ally of repetition and muscle memory. It loves the texture of discipline, the grace of the unglamorous task, the elegance of one more round. It knows that devotion installs durability. 4. The light weaver, curator of meaning and beauty. It arranges windows and courtyards for the sun of awareness to circulate. It places art where fatigue accumulates and invites tenderness to govern space. 5. The bridge tender, specialist in connection. It checks that internal rooms communicate with each other and that the private palace touches the city. It engineers reciprocity across tribes and trades, and it renders isolation obsolete. The city grows where these archetypes cooperate. Collapse appears where they fight. When the groundkeeper and the vision architect collaborate, purpose rests on sanity. When the stonemason and the light weaver collaborate, mastery blooms without austerity. When the bridge tender connects them all, prosperity becomes relational, not performative. Every person walks as a district within the larger social organism. Some districts specialize in learning, others in healing, others in trade or celebration. A coherent life distributes energy across districts in proportion to soul priorities. The drift toward fragmentation dissolves when boundaries clarify, agreements simplify, and rituals restore rhythm. The existential ground becomes stable when meaning, affection, and action move in one direction. The blueprint turns luminous. The worksite turns sacred. Section 2. Scientific and Psychological Foundations. Transpersonal and Humanistic Intelligence in Action. Transpersonal psychology observes that identity behaves like a wave in a vaster ocean. States of presence, contemplative silence, heart-focused breathing, and symbolic ritual enlarge the window of tolerance for complexity. The ego shifts from tyrant to steward. Peak states become training grounds for steady traits. As individuals stabilize presence, networks shift predictive weighting away from threat and toward collaboration. The collective brain rewires through 1,000 micro-decisions that privilege compassion, clarity, and courage. Humanistic psychology places dignity and self-actualization at the core. Authenticity increases cognitive efficiency because self-monitoring decreases. Unconditional positive regard frees exploratory behavior and unlocks creativity. When organizations embed these principles, psychological safety rises, error correction accelerates, and learning curves steepen. Teams remember that productivity without meaning exhausts, while meaning coupled to craft electrifies. The nervous system prefers coherence to adrenaline. Neuroscience and embodiment add operational detail. Neuroplasticity follows attention and repetition. Focused rehearsal sculpts synaptic pathways. Myelin thickens around skill circuits, and behavior acquires fluency. Polyvagal literacy converts anxiety into usable energy by restoring ventral engagement through breath, gaze, prosody, posture, and safe connection. Allostatic load diminishes when the body receives consistent signals of sufficiency. Food in order, sleep respected, light at morning, darkness at night, movement that alternates intensity and rest. Ritual closes stress cycles and opens creative cycles, turning biology into ally rather than obstacle. Symbolic examples. A studio introduces 90 seconds of shared breathing at the start of meetings, and the error rate in handoffs decreases. A family adopts a Sunday candle ritual with gratitude lines, and household tension loosens. A cooperative implements transparent pricing, and the frequency of dispute drops as trust compounds. The common thread remains applied coherence. Science meets soul when practice meets calendar. Saris. Section 3. Biodecoding applied. The body as an architectural alarm system. The body speaks the truth of the blueprint. Symptoms appear like red flags on a site map, pointing at zones of misalignment. Decoding and realigning turns pain into guidance. Neck and trapezius tightness. Message: excessive vigilance, over rotation of attention toward control. Release: widen peripheral vision, soften jaw, extend exhale. Allow shoulders to descend on gravity's rail. Reinforce the belief that the work site is supervised by a benevolent principle. Solar plexus acidity. Message: power confused with pressure. Release: define two non-negotiable boundaries and one generous yes. Eat slowly, stand in sunlight, speak truth at low volume. Anchor the sentence: my power is clean. Pelvic heaviness or stagnation. Message: creativity constrained by fear of judgment or scarcity. Release: 10 minutes of free movement with music, 3 lines of sensual gratitude, 1 act of micro-gifting. Change the furniture layout to let energy circulate. By migraines or frontal pressure. Message: over-identification with abstract goals. Release: ground with feet on soil, cook a simple meal, wash the dishes with breath awareness, reduce inputs for 12 hours, confirm the belief that life permits progress without violence. Dermal outbreaks. Message: boundary confusion, contact overwhelm. Release: simplify exposure, practice the sacred no, strengthen cleansing routines with water rituals, and install tech-free buffers at wake and sleep. 3-move transmutation. 1. Acknowledge the symptom with tenderness. 2. Associate it to the context that inflames it, naming the trade-off at stake. 3. Act with a small ritual that flips the internal switch and edits the schedule. When the body is heard, architecture aligns. When architecture aligns, energy economizes. When energy economizes, artistry returns. Drasesi. Section 4. Quantum N. LP. Toolkits to draft, install, and seal the blueprint. Yerada Dradola's 4.1 Blueprint Naming Protocol. Write the life district you are building: health, art, intimacy, service, wealth, study, sanctuary. Extract the value triad that defines the tone: clarity, kindness, courage, or truth, beauty, service. Compose a 1-line declaration: I build art under truth, beauty, and service. Read it daily with breath in the chest and gaze steady. Let language become architecture. 4.2. 7-step timeline reframe. 1. Stand upright, feet grounded, spine awake. 2. Place 3 markers on the floor: past, present, future. 3. On present, state the theme without drama. 4th step into past and harvest 1 missing resource. 5. Bring it to present and feel it install into posture and voice. 6. Step into future and see the solved scene in color, sound, and sensation. 7. Return to present and anchor with the palm on sternum, saying, I choose coherence. 4.3. Triune coherence anchor. Physical. Thumb and index finger touch. Pes verbal. Light, order, love. Visual. Golden triangle ignites in the chest. Activate during conflict, creative blocks, or negotiations. 4.4. Conversational architecture map. Intention. 1 sentence that names purpose. Frame. Boundaries and time visible. Mirror. Reflect the other's value in concise words. Ask. A specific request or offer with 1 metric. Seal. 1 next step with date and owner. This map turns friction into flow while protecting dignity. 4.5. Identity swish for habit renovation. 1. Shrink and desaturate the old habit image. 2. Enlarge and brighten the image of your coherent self within the intended context. 3. Swish the new image into foreground with a crisp gesture. 4. Repeat 5 times while breathing rhythmically. 5th step forward, physically, to commit. 4.6. Field Prime. 5-minute pre-work ritual. 1 minute of nasal 4 to 6 breathing. 1 minute of posture scan from feet to crown. 1 minute of value recall and micro intention. 1 minute of logistics review. 1 minute of gratitude for tools and allies. This prime reduces ramp-up friction and increases completion rate. 4.7. Agreement design for teams. Define decision owner, advisors, contributors, informed. Choose a meeting opener, 60 seconds of shared silence or a gratitude line per member. Track agreements in one visible space. Close with a single sentence summary and calendar entries leave. Bedia. Section 5. Spiritual perspective and Christ consciousness. The temple within the worksite. Christic consciousness behaves as a frequency of unity that dignifies process and people. It blends courage with tenderness, clarity with mercy, and structure with song. 10 operational virtues translate spirit into schedule. 1. Presence as non-urgency. 2. Kindness as micro-action. 3. Sincerity as clean word. 4. Service as reciprocal uplift. 5. Gratitude as nervous system technology. 6. Beauty as design criterion. 7. Silence as integrative metabolism. 8. Restorative justice as default response to rupture. 9. Jubilation as normal state of celebration without excess. 10. Unity as orchestration of difference. Buddhist emptiness teaches that forms are empty of independent existence and full of interdependence. Psychomagic confirms that symbol edits reality when logic freezes. Multidimensional practice invites dialogue between data and mystery. The holy and the ordinary meet in the craft of consistent love. Subtle anatomy as floor-by-floor plan. Crown receives guidance for shared purpose. Brow arranges long-range pattern. Throat enforces word integrity and agreement fidelity. Heart entrains group rhythm and stitches belonging. Solar plexus sets boundaries and releases clean power. Sacrum circulates pleasure and creativity. Root ensures safety, food, sleep, and place. When these floors align, policy becomes with spreadsheets and contracts. Balanarico, Section 6, Integrative Ritual. 9 minutes to install the new line of time. Duration, 9 minutes. Objective, clear mind, coherent heart, aligned action 1. Breath 3-3-3, double asterisk, 2 minutes, inhale 3, hold 3, exhale 3. Visualize the golden triangle illuminating the chest. 2. Hands on chest and belly, 2 minutes. Speak slowly, I am here, I am safe, I am guided. Allow gravity to complete the exhale. 3. Cleansing gesture. 1 minute. Sweep from crown to heart to navel. Release to the earth. 4. Field affirmation. 2 minutes. I choose coherence in words, beauty in acts, truth in decisions. 5. Micro act of love. 2 minutes. Send 1 gratitude note. Offer 1 concrete help. Organize 1 square meter. Drink water consciously. Seal with done and blessed. Weekly consecration. Light a white candle at dawn or dusk and say, I consecrate my week to loving order. Extinguish with a lid or moist fingers. Lunar weave. New moon. Declare 3 seeds of intention. First quarter. Face 1 friction with gentleness. Full moon. Write a gratitude inventory with names. Last quarter. Release 1 commitment that no longer resonates. Energy sovereignty and relational prosperity. Boundaries, agreements, reciprocity. Sovereignty guards the signal of the blueprint. Prosperity circulates when energy respects form. Boundaries define the edges of the worksite and protect the innocence of purpose. Agreements convert desire into calendar and clarify roles. Reciprocity transforms value into a spiral of giving and receiving, restoring trust to commerce and warmth to collaboration. Protocol for conscious meetings. Begin with collective breath. Name intention. Display objectives and owners. Close with gratitude and leave scheduling. Debrief in 1 minute. Keep, refine, release. Household ecology. One tech-free meal per day. Doorway pause ritual, hand on frame, one breath, enter with intention. Shared wall calendar with energy codes for days. Weekly circle for appreciation and logistics. Whereas inner 33-day installation plan. Week 1, detox of noise. 2 screen-free windows daily, audit subscriptions, replace reaction with breath, hydrate attention with nourishing reading and silence. Week 2, language of reality, replace complaint with request, log 3 wins per day, recite vector affirmations. Week 3, high-frequency bonds. 1 pending honest conversation, 1 act of service, 1 boundary delivered with respect. Week 4, purpose design. Map non-negotiable values. Choose 3 lighthouse projects with first visible steps. Consecrate the week with the candle ritual. Days 29 to 33, integration. Evaluate. Keep, release, initiate. Celebrate with your circle to metabolize effort into joy. Diara. Arcturian activation codes for builders of coherence. Speak gently, hand over heart, 3 times each. Anra. Shem. Mental static dissolves. Torelna. Order settles. Purpose clarifies. Maiharin. Compassion moves with precision. KRIONEL. Creative coherence turns on. Somyalum. Deep regenerative rest. ORMATE. Ethical abundance circulates. See each code as a golden sigil descending into the chest, rotating 3 times, then resting as a soft star. Tarula Sila practical field kits, from vision to habit. Kit A, individual regulation. Morning light within 30 minutes of waking. 4 to 6 nasal breathing during work transitions. 5-minute body scan at midday. Evening closure sentence. I return my energy to my center. Kit B, craft and mastery. Single task focus sprints of 55 minutes. Visible Kanban with ready, doing, done. Weekly review that honors completion and names 1 refinement. Kit C, community weave. Public gratitude wall. Skill exchange map and time bank. Mutual aid microfund for quick relief. Quarterly celebration to convert effort into joy. Kit D, wealth hygiene. Transparent pricing grid aligned with value and ethics. 10% generosity channel for scholarships or relief. Weekly money date with numbers, gratitude, and next action. Elimination of shame narratives around earning and receiving. Iradesiero creativity as neural infrastructure. Art tunes the social nervous system. A poem on a bus reorganizes a commute. A mural that names a shared value reduces vandalism and increases care. A song used as a workday bell synchronizes transitions and reduces decision fatigue. Beauty behaves as a governance tool. When beauty leads, compliance turns into devotion, and the city remembers its soul. Jandarela Earth Technologies in daily rhythm. Barefoot contact with soil for 2 minutes stabilizes ions and story. Windows open at sunrise reset circadian clocks. Water drunk with intention carries a traveling prayer through fascia and cortex. Compost teaches the gospel of return. Quiet walking lets the default mode network wander in healthy arcs instead of anxious loops. Nature does not hurry, and still everything gets built. Dasilakya. High-resolution synthesis. Coherence acts as prime mover and master builder. Presence reduces waste and reveals elegant paths. Emotional literacy, clean language, and spiritual humility form a sovereign triad. Technology braided to ethics and beauty increases freedom rather than dependence. Celebration seals learning and stabilizes momentum. Siranwala, master phrase, quantum challenge, activation code. Master phrase. Presence arranges geometry, coherence installs structure, love governs the site. Quantum challenge for the next 24 hours. Apply the conversational architecture map in 1 meaningful exchange. Name intention, frame time and boundaries. Mirror 1 core value, make a specific request or offer with 1 metric, and seal with a calendar step. Close with 1 line of gratitude. Activation code. ELORAELEO, whispered on the exhale 3 times, with spine tall and hands on heart. Light descends along the midline and locks into action. Closing vibration. The blueprint lives in the chest, and the chest knows the way. Every coherent breath lays a brick. Every clean word aligns a beam. Every loving gesture invites skylight. Build as if the city were a temple, and as if your work were a candle. The architecture answers to tenderness, disciplined into practice. Con amor, Andrew.